Okay, final question for today is anonymous. My big personal growth goal right now is to build up my sense of self-compassion, self-love, and self-confidence. This doesn't come naturally, and I can be fairly up and down when it comes to being kind to myself. How can I develop more self-love? Okay, there are a couple of kind of shortcuts that can be very helpful. I don't like shortcuts because they generally lead to hell before they lead you somewhere, positive. So that's why I don't tend to like go, oh, just do this and you'll be fine. Because that's not how it is. If you try to bypass something, you will have another opportunity to deal with the same thing. So bypasses, I'm not a big fan of. But something that might help you in this space is, teach yourself to speak to yourself and to treat yourself in the same way that you would treat your best friend or your little sister or your little brother or somebody that looks up to you. So in those situations, ask yourself, okay, so if this was my friend Mary over there, how would I speak to them? Would I speak to them the way I speak to myself? And then it's not really a shaming thing. It's just to draw attention to the fact that that positive reinforcement actually works much better when you're using when you're working on your personal development. So when you're doing whatever changes you do, positive reinforcement has a higher capacity to bring you there faster, if that makes sense. So let's utilize that positive affirmation as opposed to, beat yourself up for it. Because if beating yourself up for, getting stuff done or whatever would work, you'd already be there. So it doesn't. So we can just say, okay, that's not going to work. So let's go with something else. So treat yourself as you would your best friend. So speak to yourself as you would with your best friend. So when you go and speak to yourself, whenever you catch yourself, so it's not about being a police all the time. It's more about catching yourself when you are being predominantly negative or not supportive of yourself. When you catch that, say, thanks for that. Thanks for catching that. That's fantastic. Now I'm going to rephrase that and reframe it. And I'm going to ask that same question, or I'm going to give that same feedback to myself, but in a way that I would do it for Mary over there. So that I was actually going to talk about a couple of different ways of doing this, but I'd like you to try this one first and give it 30 days at least. You need to catch yourself at least 30 times. So that's once a day. And change it deliberately and consciously in order to start making a change, a dent in this challenge that you're having. So that's what I recommend that you do. Go and catch yourself, or when you catch yourself being negative towards yourself, just say, instead of start berating yourself, say, okay, cool. Thank you for that realization. Thank yourself for that realization, and then say, okay, how would I reframe this? How would I rephrase this if I was talking to my friend Mary over there? Okay, thanks everyone for today's live Q&A session. It's so great to be here with you today. And as I said earlier on, I will get the information on the book club up on our Facebook group and into this message thread as well, or into this video thread as well. So give me some time. I'll be doing it either later today or tomorrow. Okay, so thank you everyone for today's amazing session. It's such a privilege to be working with you. Being an INFJ and doing this work and being surrounded by the most magnificent INFPs, most important people in my life. Truly, it's such an honor and a privilege to be doing this work with you. So thank you for all the questions, and I look forward to our session next week. Have a great week, everyone.